Picture this: a guy returns home for a funeral and finds himself stuck in a time loop where every wrong move means death. Or a group of outcast soldiers fight for a country that denies their very existence. Or maybe it's a boy haunted by the question, what even makes someone human? These aren't just anime, these are experiences, complete stories that take you on a ride, pull at your heart, mess with your head, and then stick with you long after the final episode. So grab some popcorn, maybe even a box of tissues, because today we're diving into 6 completed anime that are absolute masterpieces. These shows don't waste your time, they hit hard, wrap up beautifully, and might just become your new favorites. Let's jump in. What if you got a second chance? Not to change your past, but to understand it better. That's the heart of ReLIFE, a slice of life anime that feels like a warm hug on a rough day. Arata, a 27-year-old man stuck in life, gets an unexpected opportunity to relive his high school days. But this isn't a time travel fantasy. He's given the chance to go back as part of an experiment with his memories intact, all while trying to help him grow as a person. At first glance, it sounds like a feel-good story, and it is, but ReLIFE goes deeper than that. It's a beautiful exploration of self-worth, personal growth, and second chances. Arata isn't some superhero with all the answers. He's just a guy who's made mistakes and feels like he's running out of time to fix them. Watching him reconnect with the world, rediscover friendships, and even experience his first real romantic feelings, it's heartwarming, relatable, and more than a little bittersweet. The show has this perfect balance between light-hearted moments and deep emotional introspection. The way Arata bonds with the people around him, especially his classmates, feels so genuine, and the subtle romance that blossoms is just the right amount of sweet without ever feeling forced. But ReLIFE isn't just about fun high school moments. It's about realizing that growing up doesn't always happen on your timeline. Sometimes you need to go back and confront your past to move forward. The ending, while bittersweet, is so satisfying. Everything feels earned. It's a conclusion that'll leave you with a smile and maybe a few happy tears. At just 17 episodes, ReLIFE is a perfect coming-of-age story. It's light, but it's got a lot of heart. It reminds you that life isn't about perfection. It's about the journey, the people you meet along the way, and the moments when you finally feel like you're exactly where you need to be. If you love anime that explores self-discovery with a touch of nostalgia and a lot of heart, ReLIFE is definitely worth the watch. There are some anime you watch and think, yeah, that was cool. And then there are the ones that haunt you, the kind that linger in your head days after you've finished them. For me, Summertime Rendering was that kind of anime. The basic plot is simple, but hooks you instantly. Shinpei, the main character, returns to his hometown on a small island for his childhood friend's funeral. But as soon as he arrives, things take a strange turn. He gets caught in a time loop where death isn't just a fear, it's real, and it keeps happening over and over. As the mystery unfolds, Shinpei discovers dark secrets about the island, and each time loop reveals new information, adding layers to a growing puzzle. The show drops you into this eerie atmosphere and just keeps layering mystery on top of mystery. Every time I thought I had it figured out, boom, another twist, but not the kind that feels cheap. These twists are crafted, almost like the creators wanted you to try and outsmart the story, only to remind you they're 3 steps ahead. I remember watching it late at night, thinking, okay, just one more episode, and suddenly it was 3 a.m. and I'm sitting there, wide-eyed, trying to process what just happened. It's that kind of ride. But what really caught me off guard was how emotionally invested I became. You're not just watching a cool sci-fi mystery, you're watching people fight for each other, for their memories, for their future. There were moments where I felt genuinely tense, others where I was just quietly sitting there, letting the emotion hit. Visually, it's gorgeous. The contrast between the island's beauty and the dark, unsettling events gives it this cinematic vibe. And the sound design, don't even get me started. It knows exactly how to get under your skin in the best way. The best part? It's all wrapped up in 25 episodes. No filler, no frustrating cliffhangers, just a perfectly executed story from start to finish. I seriously wish I could experience it again for the first time. If you're into shows that make you think, that keep your heart racing while also tugging at it, Summertime Rendering is not just a recommendation, it's a must. Trust me, this one's going to stick with you. 86 is one of those shows that blends action, emotion, and social commentary into a seamless, unforgettable story. But what really stands out is the way it explores humanity, their struggles, their sacrifice, and how society can ignore those who fight for it. The story is set in a dystopian future where the Republic of San Magnolia is at war with the Jyadian Empire. The twist? The soldiers fighting in this war aren't citizens. They're the 86, a marginalized group of people considered expendable. The main focus is on 2 characters. Shin, a young soldier in the 86th district who pilots a deadly mecha, and Lena, a high-ranking officer who leads them from behind the scenes. But the catch is, while Lena is treated as a hero, Shin and his comrades are treated as tools. This disparity forms the core of the story. What makes this anime so gripping is how it contrasts brutal action with emotional depth. You're not just watching epic mecha battles, you're watching characters you care about put their lives on the line, each moment more dangerous than the last. And the political themes hit hard, how the people who protect you can be forgotten, left to fight in a war no one else sees. The character development is top-notch. Watching Shin struggle to reconcile his feelings with his responsibilities, especially as he bonds with Lena, is where the emotional weight of the story really hits. There are so many moments where you just want to reach into the screen and say, "It's okay, you've got this." But of course, life doesn't work that way. And let's not forget the action. The mecha battles are brutal and fast-paced. One minute you're holding your breath, and the next, you're emotionally drained. The world building is solid and the soundtrack incredible. The music helps elevate the emotions of every scene, whether it's a quiet moment of reflection or a full throttle battle. 86 doesn't sugarcoat anything. It shows you the price of war, the impact of prejudice, and what it means to be human in a world that treats you like a tool. At 23 episodes, it tells a complete and emotionally resonant story that will leave you thinking long after you've finished it. If you're into mecha anime with more than just cool robots, 86 is a must-watch. It's an anime that stays with you, not just in your mind, but in your heart too. What would you do if your body wasn't entirely your own anymore? That's the chilling question at the heart of Parasyte, the Maxim, a horror sci-fi anime that digs deep into the horrors of body control while also making you think about what it means to be human. The plot kicks off when Shinichi, a regular high schooler, gets attacked by a parasite that takes over his right hand. Yes, his hand. This parasite, named Migi, was trying to take over his whole body, but instead they form an uneasy partnership. While Shinichi has to deal with the daily struggle of sharing his body with a creature that isn't quite human, the world around him descends into chaos as other parasites who take over entire human bodies begin wreaking havoc. The premise alone had me hooked, but what really made Parasyte unforgettable was how it blended psychological horror with deep existential questions. You're watching Shinichi undergo a physical transformation, but you're also watching his mental state change as he grapples with Migi's cold logic and his own humanity slipping away. It's not just the body horror that stands out, it's the philosophical exploration. The parasites, although murderous, aren't portrayed as mindless villains. They're just trying to survive. And in some ways, they're more rational than humans, which leaves you asking, who's the real monster here? And that's where Parasyte gets you. You'll find yourself empathizing with the parasites, even as you root for Shinichi's survival. It's a complex, layered story that keeps you on the edge of your seat while making you reflect on the nature of humanity. The animation in Parasyte is solid, dynamic action scenes, intense fights, and moments of pure body horror that'll make you cringe in the best way. But the emotional moments really shine. Shinichi's internal struggle, the quiet emotional beats, and even the fleeting moments of peace he finds in the chaos. It's all beautifully executed. Parasyte doesn't just ask what it means to be human, it shows you. It's creepy, disturbing, and thought-provoking all at once. And even though it's only 24 episodes, it leaves a lasting impression. If you like anime that mixes horror with deep, meaningful themes, Parasyte is a must-watch. Trust me, it's one you won't forget. If you think ballroom dancing isn't exciting, welcome to the Ballroom. Will change your mind within minutes. This anime isn't just about dancing, it's about passion, ambition, and finding the courage to take the first step towards something you love. Tatara, the main character, stumbles into the world of competitive ballroom dancing completely by accident, but as he gets more involved, he discovers that the world of dance is filled with highs, lows, and a lot of hard work. What I love about this show is how it takes a niche subject, ballroom dancing, and makes it epic. The animation is stunning. Every movement, every twirl feels so alive, so fluid. It's not just about watching the characters dance. You feel the energy, the tension, and the drive to improve. But it's not just about the dancing, it's about growth. Tatara isn't naturally gifted, and that makes his journey feel so real. You watch him struggle, learn, and grow, and with every new step, you're right there with him, cheering him on. His transformation is both physical and emotional, and it's inspiring to watch. The supporting cast is fantastic too, each character bringing something unique to the table. The rivalries feel earned, and the emotional stakes of each competition never lose their weight. You'll find yourself yourself fully invested in these characters and their growth, both on and off the dance floor. If you've ever felt like you don't have what it takes to pursue your passion, Welcome to the Ballroom will inspire you to take that leap. It's an anime about overcoming self-doubt, pushing through obstacles, and realizing that the journey itself is as important as the destination. With 24 episodes, Welcome to the Ballroom gives you a full, rewarding story. Whether you're into sports anime or just looking for something unique, this one delivers big time. Some stories don't need to be long to leave a deep mark, and Plastic Memories is proof of that. Set in a future where androids known as giftias have limited lifespans, Plastic Memories explores what it means to love and lose someone that you know's running out of time. Tsukasa, the main character, is assigned to retrieve giftias nearing the end of their lifespan, and that's where he meets Isla, an android who's running out of time herself. At first, the premise feels light, a quirky sci-fi romance with robots, but as you get deeper into the story, it pulls you in and never lets go. Tsukasa and Isla's relationship is sweet and innocent, but there's a quiet sadness to it, knowing that their time together is limited. The beauty of Plastic Memories is in how it handles this relationship with so much care and tenderness. It's not just about the science fiction aspects, it's about what it means to connect with someone, even when you know it can't last forever. The emotions are raw, honest, and deeply touching. The animation and soundtrack elevate every emotional moment. There's a softness to the visuals that matches the tone perfectly, and the music is just the right amount of melancholic. It really enhances that bittersweet feeling that defines the show. At just 13 episodes, Plastic Memories is short but impactful. It's one of those shows that sneaks up on you. You think you're watching a light-hearted romance, and before you know it, you're sitting there with tears in your eyes, hugging a pillow. If you've ever experienced a fleeting moment that meant the world to you, this anime will hit home. It reminds you that even the shortest stories can leave the longest memories. Anime like these, they remind you why you fell in love with this medium in the first place. Complete stories, no loose ends, just powerful, emotional journeys that stay with you long after the credits roll. If you've seen any of these, let me know in the comments. What hit the hardest? And if you haven't, well, you're in for something special. But hey, these aren't the only gems out there. Some of the best anime ever made barely got the spotlight, criminally underrated, but total masterpieces. So if you're ready to discover the anime that nobody talks about, but everyone should, click on this video and check out my next video. Top 6 underrated masterpieces. You don't want to miss this one.